Okay, in this problem here, this is an extension of 6.2. This is a step above the trig problems that we've been doing, and this represents something called the double tangent problem. There's a lot of steps that are involved with this, and we're gonna create two equations with two unknowns. The idea is that we have two triangles that are going on here. We have a small triangle where we have our height, and in this problem we have 60 degrees, and then we have this unknown value of x. And then we have another bigger triangle. We still have our height here, and then we also have this length here is going to be x plus 450, because we have that other little triangle that's right here. And this is going to be 25 degrees. So the idea is that we want to set up a trig function for this one. We're going to set up a trig function for this one, solve them for the same variable, and then solve for the other variable that's left over in the equation. I'm going to switch the views here so we have more paper to work with here. So actually, when we're looking at this problem here, we've got this problem for a suspension bridge, and we have our tower, and we have somebody takes a sighting at 60 degrees right here, and then they walk back 450 feet, and then they take another sighting at 25 degrees. This is actually a very useful problem. You can measure the heights of things by taking a degree measure here first, another degree measure here, measure the distance in between, and then you actually figure out how high it is. This is actually how they found the heights of mountains, by taking a sighting, walking back, and taking another sighting, and it actually works very well. Here's the math that goes with it. In this triangle over here, I'm going to say that the tangent of 60 is equal to h over x. So I'm going to have 60 is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. And then over here, I'm going to say that the tangent of 25 degrees is equal to h over x plus 450. I want to solve both of these for h. It's going to be the easiest one. So in order to do that, I'm going to multiply this side by x and x over here, and I'm going to get h is equal to x tangent 60. Over here on this one, I'm going to multiply by x plus 450 on both sides. So I'm going to get h is equal to x plus 450 times the tangent of 25. Great. This equals h. This equals h. So now I know these two equal each other. I'm going to multiply out this side here. I'm going to get x times the tangent of 25 and plus 450 times the tangent of 25 over here. And on this side, I have x tangent of 60. And the idea here is to get x all by itself. So I'm going to bring this guy over here. So I'm going to get x tangent 60 minus x tangent 25, and that's equal to 450 tangent 25. This is actually similar to some of the log problems that we solved earlier, when we had to multiply it all out and then isolate the variable onto one side. Here I'm going to factor out x, so I'm going to get x tangent of 60 minus tangent of 25 is equal to 450 tangent of 25. And then finally, I'm going to divide both sides by all of that here. And so I'm going to get x is equal to 450 tangent 25 divided by, in parentheses, tangent 60 minus tangent 25. I know this seems like a lot here, but that's pretty much all it is. We're going to do calculator now. I'm going to type this in exactly what I have. I'm going to have 450 tangent 25 divided by, oops, open parenthesis here, tangent 60 minus tangent 25, double close. Parentheses here are super important. If you forget this parenthesis after the divide sign, it'll divide these two and then subtract that, you'll get a negative answer. And you're going to be wondering what the heck's going on. So make sure that you set up your parentheses exactly like this. And I'm going to get 165. Oh, let's call it 166. Okay, great. Unfortunately, that's not what the problem is asking for here. They want to know what is the height. Well, that's actually pretty straightforward. We've got this equation here where I've actually solved for the height. So I have to take my value that I have at the end and multiply it by the tangent of 60. This is great. If you still have it in your calculator, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply that by tangent 60. This will eliminate any rounding errors that I have. Now I'm going to get 287. Okay. There are variations of this where you can use sine and you can use cosine. The most common one is you have the double tangent problem. But remember, the fundamental thing to do here is to break it into two different triangles. It looks like one big triangle on the problem, but break it into two triangles, two equations, two unknowns, set two equations equal to each other, solve for one of the variables, and then take that answer and then put it back into an equation here to get your final answer.